Hello, this is Amanda with From Where I Stamp. Today I'll be sharing with you how to create a Christmas card using items from the Painted Christmas Suite found in the July to December mini catalog. So these items can be used for Christmas or winter crafting or even for other items as well. And the catalog includes items for fall, winter, Christmas, and for other holidays as well. Now, there's a lot of nice, wonderful things in the catalog. So I recommend putting some tabs in the catalog to remind you of items that you want to purchase. And then also a reminder, until September 30th, celebration is going on, which means that for every $60 order Canadian before shipping and taxes, you can choose one free item to add to your order. So let's get started and I'll show you the suite of products and then we'll get crafting. All right, so in the July to December mini catalog, the Painted Christmas Suite is on pages 16 and 17. So this suite has gorgeous pine cones and pine boughs. And you can order this whole suite as one number. So that is this number on page 16. So the Painted Christmas Suite collection is 156274 for $192.50 Canadian, and you'd receive one of each item on this page. Now, alternatively, during celebration, you can earn one of the bundles up here for free, purchasing the starter kit. So the first bundle is the Christmas season bundle. So it has pine cones, berries, a bunch of different leaves, which is pretty awesome. And then the seasonal labels dies. Now these dies are something that I put into a clear case. I buy these extra, so you can buy them in packs of 4. And look at all the wonderful labels that you get in this pack of dies. And then you have the dies for some of the images there as well. Now the other bundle is the Christmas to Remember bundle. I decided to purchase only the stamp set. And when you do purchase a bundle, so when I bought these two together, I did save 10%. But I decided I didn't want the pine boughs and pine cones, intricate pine cones there. So you don't have to purchase a bundle if you don't want to. So this has some great sentiments for Christmas or even just winter, depending on what you're going to be creating. And during celebration until the end of September, if you do have a celebration brochure, on page 19, which this might be, oh, there we go. Page 19 shows you the list of, I think there's about 12 bundles that you can choose one for free when you're looking at purchasing your starter kit. So the best value would be this Christmas to Remember bundle. It's $81.75 Canadian, additional value on top of your starter kit. So the starter kit would be $135, no additional shipping, and you get to choose up to $165 worth of product. And then you get to choose one of those 12 bundles if you purchase a starter kit before the end of September. So this bundle here is $73.75. So these would be one of the two that I would recommend. Unless it wasn't for you, then have a look at the list and see if there's any that strike your fancy. So let's look at the Designer Series paper a little closer. So this here has a bunch of different pine images, and I love the colors. So they're real red, pear pizzazz, evening evergreen, garden green, soft succulent, and early espresso. So I love having this kind of cheat sheet so that I can see what the papers are. All right, now make sure to stick around to the end because I will be sharing with you some additional cards using these items. So I have some early espresso, some evening evergreen, and some crumb cakes. So this backing of this here looks kind of, crumb cake-ish. So what our first step is we cut a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half, and then we score it down at 4 1/4. So we're going to do a landscape card. And we have the pine cone, which has the red on the back, but it's going to go here. And then we have our evening evergreen with the evergreen pieces. That'll go here. And then we're going to use this long die cut piece to cut out this crumb cake here. All right, so what I didn't grab was some additional crumb cake to stamp some pine cones on. So I'm choosing not to use white this time for my pine cones or my sentiment, to try and do kind of a simple, not such a bold, in your face, bright card. All right, so this die here is what we're going to use. And I think I'll do Season's Greetings. Will that fit? Yeah, that'll fit. All right. So I need my block and ink it up with some Memento black ink. And stamp that. And clean it off with the Simply Chamois, which all you need is a little bit of water to get that clean. And then I like to put my stamps away as I go, just so I don't misplace a stamp. All right, so that will go with this. And then we want to stamp some of these pine cones. Now you may notice that this is a photopolymer stamp set, where this one is a red rubber. So they look a little different, but the photopolymer are nice because you can see through them when you're stamping. So we'll do a big pine cone, and we'll also do a small pine cone. I think we have a pine cone small one, yeah. So there's 2 dies here. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't really want a fussy cut at the moment. All right, so what we're going to do is, I don't know, I haven't stamped with the pine cones yet. So we have early espresso, soft suede, and crumb cake. So we're going to play around with some colors here. And I don't open my ink pads all the way. I have a hard time opening and closing them and not getting ink all in my hands. Although getting ink on your hands is not that big of a deal. So I'm going to do the big one in soft suede first. And stamp it. But I'm also going to stamp it in crumb cake beside it, because we're going to play around with some layering and doing some trial and error. Something fell over, I don't know what, is always good, because then you can see that does not work very well at all, does it? So that has a little bit more dimension. So soft suede is a little too dark. So we'll just deal with crumb cake and early espresso. So then just some crumb cake, early espresso. We'll do another one like so. And I think, can I fit? Oops, wrong color. We want the big one. Do I have room? Probably should go this way. There we go. That looks better. Something like that. You could even, let's try that out with this. So you could do crumb cake, and then you could stamp off with the darker and then put it over top. Not bad, but it's fun to play around with colors and to see what you can come up with. And you will notice on the photopolymer that the stamps will or could be discolored a little bit. depending on the inks that you're using, but that's not a problem. It'll still be just fine. So now we're going to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is the mini, and it just folds out when you're ready to use. And it has a 3.5-inch wide opening for smaller embossing folders and paper and most of the dies. So the seasonal labels dies, this is the largest die, and it will fit through the 3.5. So if it's something that you'd like to take advantage and get these dies, especially in your starter kit, I believe this is $82 for the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And then you could add other items that you would like to have to reach that 165 amount. And then you could pick one of these bundles. So you have a die cutting machine and the bundles ready to do some Christmas crafting. So then you just slide that through. To have this die cut. And if you can see, there we go, the little embossed edge on there, which is pretty. All right, so next, we're gonna put through these, I'm just gonna snip this a little, just so I don't have a really long piece going through. And we'll die cut this large pine cone. Come on, there we go. You want to be very careful not to pinch your fingers. There's one pine cone. Let's do the second one. I don't know if I need both of these, but if I don't use them on this project, I'll keep them for the next. All right, so the smaller pine cone. And if you had the other die sets, or the other die set, then you could have more intricate pine cones rather than some stamped ones. And then when you're done, just snap that up, and it makes the profile smaller, so it doesn't take up as much room in your craft area. All right, so let's see how we get this card put together. So I am going to use some liquid glue and some mini dimensionals for my project. And I like to keep a little container nearby to put my little things in. So first I'm going to glue this pine cone piece onto my evening evergreen little layer. And then I'm going to stick this one on to the card base, I should say. And I'm going to try and have the bottom and the edge. So you could center it between the two if you wanted, but I was looking at here to get them about the same. And then we're going to trim this off. So I could use scissors, but I prefer when it's straight, and I don't always get straight with my scissors. So I'm just going to trim off that edge. The other thing you could do is when you put your when you go and put your stamp on, it could be close to that edge of the cardstock rather than middle like I did. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the top of this, and then we'll have a look and see where those pine cones will go on the card. All right, so this goes like that. I might need to grab, maybe do a little bit more stamping. Yeah, I think we're gonna need a little bit more stamping. So I'm gonna grab actually some Pear Pizzazz cardstock. I keep my cardstock in the drawer right beside my desk in file folders. Yeah, Pear Pizzazz is not going to work. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll do very vanilla. Let's see what it looks like. That's a little better. All right, and we'll grab the Evening Evergreen from my ink shelf here. Move that out of the way. So what I'm looking at, I think, is this one here. It's like a pine bough. And this one actually is a better one. So I need a block for this. There we go. Open up the Evening Evergreen. I'll stamp it a couple times, just because you never know. There we go. And then we'll get that die cutting machine back out. And, oh, aren't I silly? There's no die cut for that. Oh, well. I just go back to what I originally thought. What I originally planned was to do this one. If I can get a clear block here. So let's try that again. It's always good to just double check with your die cuts to see what you actually have. Let's do 4. I don't know if I'll cut them all out. So this one, we'll die cut these. There we go. Oopsie. That ink transferred. Why did it do that? We'll cut one more. I think we'll do 3. 3 is probably enough. I love die cutting items because it's better than having to cut them out. Okay, so I think this just adds a little bit more to the card. Maybe we'll just stick this one over here and we'll stick this one at the back. Something like that. Okay, so now I can stick this piece on now that I know I'm not going to stick anything behind it. Because we have multiple layers, I never know what I might want to stick behind the other piece. And then if it's glued down, it's a little hard to pull it up. All right, so this is going to go here. I'll put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this piece here. So it's going to go here. And I'll put a little bit of glue on this piece here and kind of tuck it in behind. Same thing with this piece. Tuck this kind of behind-ish. And then one more little bow. We'll tuck it in. Maybe I'll have to pull this up first. There we go. There we go. And now we can take the back off our little sentiment. And put that right there, right along here. And there we go. So there is a wintry season greeting card idea for you. And I promised you that I would share some other cards using this suite. So there is the Merry Christmas. Have a holly jolly Christmas sentiment. And then we have this really pretty sparkly pine cone as well. So there's some additional ideas that you could make using the Painted Christmas Suite. And I really hope you've enjoyed or learned something new while watching this video. If you have liked it, please subscribe and share with anyone else that would like to have some inspiration.